Hello again, my DIY living friends, and welcome to Medicated Housewife DIY, where crafting and mental health come together. In today's video, we're creating some beautiful rustic winter decor using items from Dollar Tree and nature. If you're looking for budget-friendly ways to transform your home this winter, you're in the right place. These DIY projects are sure to bring a touch of high-end rustic goodness to your home this snowy season. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more DIY projects. I post new videos every week, so hit the notification bell to stay updated. Remember, creativity is contagious, so pass it on. Now, what are you waiting for? Let's go DIY together. For this DIY, I've got this giant gorgeous pine cone from one of my neighbors. I'm going to start by painting all the little scales, I think that's what you call them, with this folk art antique wax, which I will link for you in the description box below. It's mixed with water to give a sheer kind of stained effect, and basically, I just want to darken the pine cone a little bit and give it a warmer tone. Once the pine cone dries, then I take this folk art chalk paint in white, which I will link for you below, and using a dried chip brush, I'm going to distress paint the edges of this pine cone to look a little bit like a dusting of snow on the branches of a tree. I grabbed this small twig from a pack at Dollar Tree, which will be our tree trunk, and I'm going to hot glue it to the middle of this wood slice, and you can definitely get wood slices at Dollar Tree. Next, I see if my pinecone tree fits on the twig, and there are some hard little pointy pieces on the bottom of that pinecone I'm going to need to cut with my clippers. I love these clippers. I got them on Amazon. I'll link them for you below. I cut the bottom just enough that I can fit the tree trunk twig into the bottom of the pinecone. I attached the pinecone to the twig, securing it with hot glue. I added more hot glue under the pinecone for stability and off camera. I accessorized the tree with some Dollar Tree garland, some berries, and a mini pinecone. And this is my winter pinecone tree, and I really like this tree. Pine cones always look like winter trees to me, so this, combined with the twig, tree trunk, and wood slice base, just has it all and covers all the rustic bases. A lovely addition to your rustic winter decor. Earthy, woodsy, and kind of quaint at the same time, and super quick and easy to make. For this next DIY, I've got these two wood slices like the ones you get at Dollar Tree. One is slightly smaller than the other. Using a small wood craft stick from Dollar Tree and some hot glue, I'm going to attach the two slices together with the smaller one resting above the larger one. I used my favorite clippers to cut the bottom off of the larger wood slice, making it flat so it will stand up straight. I also cut the top off of the small one on an angle at the top, as you see here, and you'll see why later. I'm using folk art white chalk paint. I'm going to be painting a circle in the middle of each of the wood slices, as you see me doing right here. And I'm doing my best to make a nice circle freehand. Kind of a personal challenge for me. I don't know why. I have so much trouble making nice circles freehand. I just can't explain it. I used a pencil to sketch out a face and some buttons for my, spoiler alert, snowman. Yes, I'm making a snowman. I did not trust myself to freehand that stuff with a Sharpie. So first I did it in pencil and then went over it with a regular Sharpie and a thin Sharpie, coloring everything in to make it all permanent. I had a piece of orange felt from Dollar Tree, so I cut out a carrot-shaped nose for my snowman and then hot glued that onto his snowman face. And I can't find the footage of me gluing that Dollar Tree wood stump to a smaller wood slice, but they are attached for our snowman's top hat. I have this wired garland from Dollar Tree that I trimmed to make thinner. I'm wrapping it around the base of the top hat to embellish it, securing it with hot glue, and then also attaching a small clump of red berries from a Dollar Tree floral pic. I have this black felt from Dollar Tree, and I cut a long thin piece for the snowman's scarf. I folded over and cut little fringe pieces on both ends of the scarf to make it look more scarf-like. Then I tie that scarf around the snowman's neck and adjust it so it will sit nicely. I also end up trimming the fringe on the bottom of that scarf so that both sides are even at the bottom after it's been tied. And also, I'm not sure where the footage is, but I did hot glue the flat bottom of the snowman to a wood slice from Dollar Tree to use as a base. Next, I used some hot glue and attached the top hat on an angle to the flat part of the snowman's head where we cut earlier, and off camera I did cut a small piece of black felt to cover the top of the snowman's top hat. And this is my snowy rustic wood snowman. He's a cutie, looking very dapper in his wood top hat. Honestly, I kind of wish I had one too. The only thing missing from this picture are the snow flurries, and there they are. Just perfect. Nothing says winter more than a snowman, and nothing is more rustic than if he's made out of wood. Quick and easy, and oh so cute. For this next DIY, I'm using a grand total of 32 wood clothespins from Dollar Tree, which I will take apart and remove the springs for all 32 of them, so that I'm going to end up with 64 little wood pieces. Once separated, I'm going to hot glue together 2 pieces with the flat sides touching, as you can see me do right here. We're making 4 of these sets that are glued together to begin with. Then I'm using hot glue to attach the 4 sets into the shape of a plus sign, attaching them all with the pointy ends facing outward, as you see right here. They are also on their sides with that middle seam facing upwards. I then make 4 more sets of the 2 clothespin pieces, and I'm going to attach those in between the existing 4 pieces in that plus sign, as you see me doing right here. The same way, pointy ends facing out and on their sides with the seam facing up. Then I make 8 more of those 2 wood piece sets. I'm going to attach 4 of them in between the existing sets on each side. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Just watch what I'm doing. And just a note, I do add more hot glue where the sets connect to one another as needed. Whenever I see a loose piece, I just add some more hot glue. So now we have one side put together using 16 clothespins, and I make the other side the exact same way, except I don't connect the 2 middle pieces as you're seeing right here. They're totally separate, but it's the same exact design as the first side. I'm using a mixture of water and folk art antique wax, and I am going to fully paint all 3 sections of my, spoiler alert, wood clothespin snowflake. We are making a 3-dimensional wood snowflake, so I'm going to paint all of these sides and all of the edges on all 3 of those pieces. Once the antique wax dries, I grab some folk art white chalk paint and a dry chip brush. I'm going to distress paint the entire snowflake with the chalk paint, as you see me do here. I start out really lightly painting, but I get a little heavier handed on the edges, especially as I go along. I'm going to do this to all 3 of those pieces. Once the chalk paint dries, I am ready to assemble. I am using hot glue, and I'm attaching the first side of my 2-piece side of the snowflake to the other side of my full snowflake, if that makes any sense. Just watch as I do it. Then I do the same thing on the 3rd half piece of snowflake on the other side to make that shape 3-dimensional. And this is my 3-dimensional wood clothespin snowflake, and I mean, it's wood, it's distressed, and we made it out of clothespins. I think it's charmingly rustic. I actually think it would look better hanging from a ceiling than it does just hanging out on a shelf or a table, but you can put this wherever you want to work with your wintry rustic home decor. It's a bit farmhouse too, in my opinion. Super cute. This next DIY uses this foam mushroom from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 3, but I'm just using 1. I separate the stem from the mushroom head, and I'm going to wrap the stem of the mushroom with some Dollar Tree jute twine, starting from the bottom and working my way up the stem toward the top. I only go up to almost the top of the stem, since you won't really see the top of that stem under the mushroom head. Next, I make a scary mess trying to pull off all those pinecone scales. I also cut up my fingers on all those really sharp little bits of pinecone. Not a hard project, but yes, messy. I use my clippers to help some and my fingers and remove some small and some larger pinecone scales. And if they aren't called scales, I apologize. I'm sure someone will leave me a comment to tell me that I'm wrong, but that's fine. I love to learn new things from you guys. We're using hot glue to attach the scales, or whatever they're called, around the mushroom head in rows. I start at the bottom, and once that first row is completed, the second row is placed in between the scales that are on the first row. This way I get better coverage, and I really don't want to see any of that blue color of my mushroom head. We need to cover all of that stuff up. I remove more pinecone pieces than I need as I go, and although messy and slightly time consuming, it's a very easy project. I add more pieces until I have all the blue color underneath on the mushroom head covered up, and then I look for any blue sections peeking through and use the smaller scales to hide those under some of the larger scales. Now, when the mushroom head is completely covered, I'm just going to slide it right back onto that stem. The existing little wood toothpick that's there holds it in place without a problem. I do hot glue the stem to a wood slice base because the bottom is slightly rounded of the stem and I want it to stand upright. So gluing is necessary. And how cute is this pinecone mushroom? I love this so much, although I do think I'm going to make another one that will be a little bit neater looking than this one. It's a little wild looking, and also it kind of looks a little bit like a pinecone cupcake at certain angles, but I am loving the concept and I want to do more. And you know the drill. I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments which one of these Dollar Tree DIY rustic winter decor items was your favorite and why. You know I love hearing from all of you. And if you've enjoyed this DIY video, there's another one waiting for you. Just click that link on your screen for more Medicated Housewife DIYs. Also, I'd love for you to join our little crafting family and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time, my name is Sarah. I'm the Medicated Housewife, and crafting is my medication.